Hi, John. Great show. Love your friends.
Zombie Jamboree 93 was a 3-day celebration of the 25th anniversary of Night of the Living Dead. It took place from August 27 through 29, 1993 at the Pittsburgh Expo Mart, in the complex where George Romero's Dawn of the Dead was filmed. We're grateful to the thousands of people who came from all over the world to help us celebrate. When we made Night of the Living Dead back in 1967, we had no idea that it would become such a phenomenon that people are still enthused about it after a quarter of a century. We believed strongly in what we were doing, and we were solidly behind George Romero as the director. Our goal was to really pay off the fans who love horror movies but seldom get to see a good one. Up till then, George Romero, Russ Striner, Gary Striner, Vince Cervinsky, and I were operating a little commercial film company called The Latent Image, Inc., where we were scraping by, paying our bills, and buying our own camera, lighting, and editing equipment a little at a time, hoping that someday we'd be able to make a theatrical feature. Here are a few of the TV spots we made during that period. The flutter and the washed-out look are due to the old-style process that was used to transfer from film to tape.
Great times, great beer. They go together. And there's no better beer for great times than Iron City. Pour a glass or two of Iron City. Watch it come alive with millions of tiny bouncing bubbles that give you a foaming thick head that holds and holds and holds. And how about that Iron City flavor? Rich, robust, delicious. It's the result of over a century of brewing experience. So get with Iron City when you want to make your great times just a little better. You're ahead with Iron City, the beer drinker's beer.
This happens every 27 minutes in America. Sounds like some underdeveloped country, doesn't it? Regrettably, it's right here at home. Every 27 minutes, a black child dies. The past and present administrations were and are aware of this situation. George McGovern feels a moral obligation to bring this to an immediate end. Let our children live. Join hands with McGovern. We've got a friend.
My baby!
We've all heard about the Olympic records held by Jim Thorpe. But did you know in 1970, 225 live goldfish were swallowed by Roger Martinez? An Englishman holds the tiddlywinks record of 12 winks potted out of 23. And in 1931, the face-slapping record of 30 hours was set by 2 Russians. Read about them all in the Guinness Book of World Records. Yours free when you test drive a Chevy.
Your Pittsburgh and Allegheny County Chevrolet dealers, where nice guys finish first.
Makes the scene delicious.
George, when will the steaks be ready? Everything else is done and we're all starving to death.
Magic Lantern, a new exciting accessory for outdoor cooking, makes perfect white-hot coals in less than half the time. And it keeps you clean because you never touch the charcoal. Magic Lantern requires no charcoal fluid. You just start the fire with a bit of newspaper. Then Magic Lantern goes to work. While you entertain your guests, Magic Lantern makes perfect white-hot coals. The savings in charcoal fluid alone will pay for Magic Lantern many times over. And you and your guests enjoy meats and steaks done to perfection. Magic Lantern is not yet available in stores, but by acting now and ordering by mail, you save $2 off the retail price.
Preview Films present The Calgon Story. What happens when a Calgon research team and their submarine are reduced to micro size and sent on a dangerous mission deep inside a washing machine?
Engines reversed full, Captain. We're stuck.
We've got to find out what's on those fibers.
Trapped in the fibers of a giant t-shirt, the Calgonauts discover secrets of gray, dull-looking laundry.
What it feels like.
Leftover detergent film. The fibers are covered with this stuff.
Oh, this box has never been opened.
Add the Calgon.
You'll thrill as Calgon dissolves the dirty leftover detergent film.
It's working. The gray is gone. The fibers are clean.
Let's get out of here.
I think I'm in love with you.
If you're tired of dull detergent films and grade B washes, thrill to The Calgon Story at your nearby family washing machine.
It was over a lunch of grilled provolone sandwiches and beer, while George and I were complaining about the fickleness of our commercial clients, that we decided to take the plunge and make a horror flick. We kicked in a few bucks out of our own pockets to get our movie started and wangled a bit more money from friends, relatives, and finance companies. Still, the budget was ridiculously small, and all of us who worked on the movie had to perform many functions, such as doing our own makeup, loading magazines, syncing takes, doing stunts, and making props. Although we didn't necessarily consider ourselves actors, we all ended up acting or being extras in our own movie. Co-producer Russ Striner started it off by playing the part of Johnny.
And the one from last year's gone.
Well, the flowers die, and the caretaker or somebody takes them away.
Yeah, a little spit and polish. You can clean this up. Sell it next year. Wonder how many times we bought the same one.
The other co-producer, Carl Hardman, and his partner, Marilyn Eastman, played the parts of Harry and Helen Cooper.
There are two other people upstairs, a man and a girl.
We heard you screaming.
Yeah, but I didn't know who they were, and I wasn't about to take any unnecessary chances.
Of course not, Harry.
I played the zombie who takes a tire iron in his head, and also the one who gets set on fire with a Molotov cocktail.
The explosion of the Venus probe, is that right?
George Romero did a cameo as a reporter.
There's a definite connection, In other words, you feel that the radiation on the Venus probe is enough to cause these mutations? There was a very high degree of radiation.
Well, just a minute. I'm not sure that that's certain at all. I don't think that has been
irrefutable
explanation that we have at this time.
You, drag that out of here and throw it on the fire.
Nothing down here.
All right, go ahead down and give him a hand. Let's go check out the house. There's something here. I heard.
And Vince Cervinsky had the dubious honor of shooting our hero, Ben, right between the eyes.
All right, Vince, hit him in the head, right between the eyes. Good shot. Okay, he's dead. Let's go get him. That's another one for the fire.
When it came time to hold our 25th anniversary celebration, we wanted to pay off the fans again by showing them a good time. We worked for over a year putting Zombie Jamboree 93 together, and we spent $120,000 on celebrity fees, airfares and expenses, renting the hall, the riverboat and the limousines, and advertising and promoting the event in a big way. Monsters, movies, and fun. That's what this show was all about. And we wanted to give everybody a great deal for their money. To help us do that, we set up a mini museum of horror and science fiction where we could display things like the original Batmobile. Dragula, The Predator, Pumpkinhead, and many other props and souvenirs from popular movies. Uniforms from my movie Midnight were among the items on display.
Midnight. It's the time that all good girls must say their prayers. And pray that they won't get caught.
Get in the cage! Come on, hurry up!
For the sacrifice.
May her blood give us strength and vitality to do your bidding.
For nothing can stop the Midnight Stalkers in their relentless search for sweet young souls. And no one can satisfy their quenchless thirst for virginal blood.
Grant us eternal life, Lord Satan.
The whole family is crazy.
A family headed by a crumbling matriarch.
We'll go out and catch another girl tomorrow.
On a murderous rampage of demented deeds. And as the cultish killings go on and on and on, an entire town appears to be possessed by their sinister spell.
You and I have to figure a way to get out of here before they kill us.
It's a gruesome tale of cold-blooded terror. There is no escape after midnight.
When Zombie Jamboree 93 opened on Friday morning, I was worried that George Romero wouldn't be able to make it. He was in Florida bashing out a screenplay on a tight deadline, and he had promised to fly into Pittsburgh that morning, but the motion picture business is pretty tough at times, and it's hard to keep promises. But George showed up as scheduled and was immediately mobbed by the fans. He sat in one place signing autographs for 8 straight hours and refused to take a break because he didn't want to disappoint any of the many folks waiting in line. We were all kept pretty busy. I think we each must have signed at least a couple thousand items during the 3 days of the show. We enjoyed meeting and talking with everybody. It's what this kind of event is really all about.
Very flattering. Sir, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, if you could just sign this for me.
Johnny.
Hard boiled? Very good.
Where at? Anywhere?
Anywhere.
Who's it for?
For Lee. L-E.
L-E. Okay.
One of the surprise celebrities who showed up was Laurie Cardill, who had the female lead in Day of the Dead.
You just sort of do this movie and then you sort of forget it, not forget about it, but you sort of go on with your life for 5 years. Then you come and there's like a life that it sort of takes on. And I didn't. Thousands, maybe hundreds, or tens.
Kane Hodder joined us right after he finished starring in Jason Goes to Hell.
I have these. Okay, they're fine. Good. Who do you want it for?
Jeff.
Jeff?
Yeah.
J-E-F, right? Yeah.
Gunnar Hansen was on hand too. He played Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Can you say how you like the show?
And of course, everybody enjoyed meeting Adam West, who starred as Batman in the hit TV series.
And he bought a nice fan club as well.
Is this for you, Rick?
Yep.
Obviously, I'm a big fan.
Rick, take a look at his fan club, because it's really exclusive, great stuff from Adam's archive.
Well, Adam knows I'm a fan. I've come to every convention that's come.
I recognize him immediately. Thanks, Rick. Thanks, mate. You bet. I'll see you.
You know, sir?
Another star guest was David Prowse, otherwise known as Darth Vader from Star Wars. There was something of interest happening almost all the time. When people got tired of hunting for bargains in the dealer's room or having mementos signed by the celebrities, they could watch any of the dozens of horror movies that were being constantly screened in one of the theaters. One of the movies was The Majorettes, which I wrote and produced, and which was directed by Night of the Living Dead lead zombie, Bill Heinzman.
Please don't hate me, Tommy. Tell me what to do. You're the only one besides Mace who knows that I'm pregnant, and he's no help. I need someone I can depend on. Or else, I don't know what I'll do. Somebody's out there.
For Judy O'Day, Keith Wayne, and the rest of us who had worked on Night of the Living Dead, Zombie Jamboree '93 was a nice reunion. We dedicated the event to the memory of Dwayne Jones, who died in 1988, and we missed Judy Ridley, who was unable to be with us because of a family commitment.
Gotta get away from the pump! Hang on! No! Turn your cars and get out of the truck! Let's get out of here. Come on, come on.
My jacket's gone.
Judy Ridley played her first film role in Night of the Living Dead, and we were so impressed that we cast her in the next picture that George Romero, Russ Striner, and I made together in 1970. It was a romantic tragedy entitled The Affair. Her co-star in this particular scene happens to be George Costanza, who played the sheriff in Night of the Living Dead.
No.
That's good. Try to relax.
You're probably a little nervous. You're going to have a little miscarriage. Have a drink. Take one drink. I don't want to scare you, but you don't do exactly what you're told, they're going to find you. Seen a lot of girls go through this. You're going to lose some blood. It's only natural. It happens every time. You follow instructions, do what the man says, everything's fine. He's going to put you up on a table. He's going to reach inside. He's going to make a little hold. About a week or so later, you're going to have a little miscarriage. You don't do what you're told, you got problems. You understand? Now, it's going to take us about a half hour to get there. I'll bring you back here then.
Another good thing about Zombie Jamboree '93 was that it gave us an excuse to get together with Brink Stevens and Linnea Quigley, stars of Imagine Scream Queens trading cards, and the first cover girl and centerfold of our brand new Scream Queens Illustrated magazine.
I had something I want to promote that Linnea and I are going to be in. Imagine Inc., who's putting on this convention, is doing a magazine called Scream Queens Illustrated. And Linnea's on the cover of the first issue, and I'm the fold-out centerfold. So they're expecting, I guess, around October that'll be available.
And it was real funny because I hated special effects, because after I'd gone through the very first movie I did was special effects, Return of the Living Dead, it was just such an awful, awful experience with the makeup and everything that we like argued a lot when we first met, because I didn't want that stuff on my face. So it was like, and then you wanted to put these huge contact lenses in my eyes, and no, you know, it was really bad. So it was funny. It was very funny.
I like the antlers.
The antlers were good, yeah. That was pretty weird and pretty gory. That was a good way to die, I think.
I've died a lot, but you never see my deaths. In Slumber Party Massacre, my scream tells it all. You don't see any. You see the drill bit come through the door, and then I scream, and they've got the picture on an empty gymnasium. And then in Bad Girls from Mars, I get blown up with a hand grenade, but you see the hand grenade in my mouth, and then they cut outside the building, and you see an explosion. In Sorority Babes, I get pulled apart by demons, but you don't see it. You hear me scream. So I can't really say that I've died graphically.
I like the taffy pull the best.
Oh, and in Grandma's house, they cut my throat, and they cut away. You don't see him cut my throat. You see the blood drip into the pan below, and that's it, so you don't see that. I don't know, it's been kind of a washout as far as dying.
I know, I always have to go through the special effects, so they have to show it, and like in Silent Night, Deadly Night, when I was on the antlers, it was just a mess because the special effect guy didn't know what he was doing, and they had the horn sticking out my stomach and expected me not to breathe, because every time I breathed, it'd move, and it's really dumb.
Yeah, Dave Dakota called me up and he said, I need you to work 4 days on Nightmare Sisters. And I said, so that's my part, it takes 4 days to shoot. He said, no, the whole movie takes 4 days. And it happened to be during my birthday. Oh. And they surprised me with a cake in the backyard of the house. It was really sweet. So it was nice, everybody was friendly. But it was only really about 12-hour days. It wasn't exorbitant. But the thing was, we were so well rehearsed. We all knew our lines.
Huge
we came in.
dialogue scenes.
Yeah, I mean, if you notice, we're sitting on the sofa for 12 minutes, we're in the bathtub for 12 minutes. He never moves the camera. He sets it up, he turns it on, and he shoots it. And we were all so good that we did it in one take. So it got done, I think, because of us, because we were able to, just go along with it and pull it off. Because there were no cuts, if you look, there's really no cuts in it.
No cuts at all.
It's like doing a play.
I did a little bit of music with Dan Golden, who's been directing a couple films and shoots a lot of my pictures. And we recorded a song called Scream Queen, where I did the lead guitar on it and did backup vocals. So it was weird all of a sudden to pick up a guitar again. It was kind of fun.
Next thing I saw her do about scared me half to death. She sat up from a slab, I had to catch my breath. She looked right at me and she gave a little smile. Two tiny fangs appeared and then her eyes went wide. Scream queen, your looks can mesmerize. Scream queen, of you I fantasize. Scream queen, a terror
Yeah, the first 3 scripts were B movies, but this one I have a lot more. It has to be a bigger budget because you see these 9 people just explode. So it's got to be a big budget.
That costs more.
Yeah, that costs money. I want to take it to Clive Barker when I get it done. It's really it's very dark and unrelenting. So, yeah, I want this one to be a big budget one. I'm trying to break through. It's really hard to break through as an actress. They have this stigma against you, and no one wants to believe that you know how to act if you've done B movies. Well, it must be like you've done them because that's all you can do. That's all the more capable you are, which is not true. But rather than try to break through into A movies, I've expanded, as Linnea has. We've got our books, our videos, our photos, our conventions, writing, producing, whatever we do. We just kind of cover the boards. And the nice thing about the B movie area is nobody stops you. Women can do anything they want in this area. Whereas in the bigger budget films, there's a lot more prejudice.
Politics.
Against women. Yeah, politics rather than prejudice, but...
All during Zombie Jamboree '93, technicians from the Joe Blasco Makeup School and from the Michael Burnett Studio were displaying their special skills by making the fans up as zombies and other hideous creatures. On Friday afternoon, Jay Holland from the Blasco School was joined by Michael Burnett and Tom Savini for a special effects panel discussion.
Okay. Well, my name is Mike Burnett. I'm a special effects makeup artist. I don't have as many credits as Tom Savini. I started out as a Tom Savini fan. Of course, Dawn of the Dead I saw about 50,000 times.
How many of you are going to this mall walkthrough Sunday? Yeah, I just saw that on the itinerary. I didn't know anything about it. I guess we're doing it.
You can see where Tom jumped off and landed in the fountain.
There's still some blood, actually. There's a little metal grate near a T-shirt stand over there, and there's still some dry, hopefully, I haven't seen it in a while, but the last time I was there, there's still a little bit of blood down there from, I think we shot 15 zombies in that area, Or you mean jump off the balcony? Well, if you could bring like a 60-foot stunt airbag, I'll consider it, I'll do it backwards if you had an airbag. I missed the first time on that stunt. I missed the cardboard boxes and mattresses, and my feet slammed into the floor, and I couldn't walk for 2 weeks. I was doing effects from a golf cart and a wheelchair and a cane. And when we did the effect for real, I put more mattresses and more cardboard boxes and did it twice. But I got hurt the first time.
These two gentlemen, I'm an administrator for Joe Blasco Makeup Center, which is a school where we teach people to do this type of work. Not quite to their level, but get them in there and get them started and what have you. And I work out of the Los Angeles school. We also have one in Orlando. As a company, we also do some of the theme park effects and that type of thing for Universal Studios, both the one in Orlando and now increasingly the one in Los Angeles. And then again, as a school function, we're training people to work in the industry and trying to get them out there and started in the film and television industry.
None of the stuff that I was supposed to do to Stephen King in Creepshow worked. When he turns into the plant, the Jordy Verrill thing, I had a gag where plants grow out of his hand, where stuff grows out of his tongue. We even had special sclera lenses made, green ones, but he couldn't wear them. We could not get him into his eyes. He just would not sit still enough, or he just complained too much. In fact, we couldn't even cast his head. We tried, and he freaked out. He could not let us cast his face. We had straws up his nose and his mouth and his ears, up his ass. We could not cast the guy's face. So as a result, we couldn't do any of the growth stuff. And so that was frustrating. None of the stuff on him worked. But in my memory, that's the worst time I ever had trying to execute an effect. Normally, it works smoothly. That was 3M blood, and it really was horrible looking. But in a way, it helps the fantasy aspect. I mean, after the 19th head being blown off, I mean, you're kind of numb to the horror and to the violence, and the blood kind of helps that comic book feeling of it. Halfway through the film, the blood changes. I discovered Dick Smith's blood formula and started to use that. But before that, it's really like, I mean, you've seen it. It looks like, cartoon blood. Oh, that was, okay, we did a fake neck of the guy, neck down to the shoulders, right down here in plaster, covered up with foam, and there was a hole in the neck area. And we had the guy lying face forward on a mound of dirt, and the body was beneath him, and we put a mound of dirt behind him, so it looked like you were looking down at him, okay? It was very difficult to explain that to George when he did it. He kept saying, but the guy's laying down. I said, yes, he is laying down, but look, he's up, the camera's like this, and there's dirt, So then John Amplis just drove a stick through the foam rubber, through the hole in the plaster, and I had a hot water bottle filled with blood, and it was the same way we did Kevin Bacon's arrow gag in Friday the 13th. But the first time was in Martin that I tried that out.
Later on, Tom Savini led a tour and gave a talk at Monroeville Mall, where Dawn of the Dead was filmed.
If you have any questions that might help me remember stuff, I was just walking around this morning remembering stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, this food court right here was the ice skating rink. Remember the scene, of course, of the zombies. We would come in here at 3 in the morning without skates, just start skating. Slide. That's what I mean, it was a 3-month Halloween. The Brown Derby restaurant, it's not here anymore, I think. No. So the Hula Hands or something? Yeah. Well, it stayed open until 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, we'd make up the zombies at 7, and a percentage of them would go get drunk in the Brown Derby. They'd come back and steal a golf cart and crash into the marble pillars. One of them cost $7,000 worth of damage on one of these marble pillars. But the mall, I mean, you could not get, Spielberg couldn't build a set like this for, I think they paid $50,000 to use the mall for the whole movie. And the production value was incredible. I mean, you couldn't build something like this. The same place, the community room down here, for some reason, some senior citizen organization decided they wanted to bring, it was about 70 senior citizens, and they would, as a practice, arrive in the morning and walk around the mall for exercise. So they were coming down the corridor of the community room, and we had 300 zombies coming this way toward them. And they kind of met at this corner, There were no fatalities, no heart attacks. In fact, we even grabbed some of the senior citizens and made them zombies. It made for an interesting, scary morning. We thought we were going to have more trouble. Because we didn't know, here they come. Indians meet the cowboys.
Where's the grate with the famous Savini line, I see you, Chuck?
Oh, that's in there. Same place, in the community room. Yeah.
That's the only thing I need to
that
see.
was not in the script. My part was not in the script, and neither was the line. In fact, Ken Ferray came over to me later and says, Chocolate Man? Ken, I'm the bad guy. I'm after you, what am I going to say? Yeah, he needed me for that for a long time. Where am I say, hey, no, Chocolate Man. Tasso that swings off the rope with a sledgehammer. None of these characters were in the script. And that's what was fun about Dawn of the Dead. I got to become Blades. I had machetes and things, I had blades everywhere. My name was Blades. Tasso had a sledgehammer, his name was Sledge. And we called each other that for a long time when the movie was over. But we created those characters, we created the dialogue, and we created the deaths. And that's what I mean by it being like just this great Halloween.
In 1990, Tom Savini directed a remake of Night of the Living Dead, which was written by George Romero and co-produced by me and Russ Striner.
They came to pay their respects.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Why do you have to be so cruel?
What?
Show some respect.
Now, they're running for their lives.
A biologist in Stockton, California have released reports focusing on the phenomenon, specifically on that trance-like state.
Every shelter is becoming a trap.
Are you sure we're gonna be all right? Cooper, you gotta help me out!
And every road out...
Don't stop no matter what happens.
...is just another dead end.
They're coming right for us.
George Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
A few years earlier, there had been a colorized version of Night of the Living Dead released by Hal Roach Studios.
Lights, camera, color. It's here. For the first time in unliving color, George Romero's shocking classic Night of the Living Dead. Is there terror more terrifying? Will the living nightmare ever end? Close your windows, lock your doors. Night of the Living Dead. In color.
She wasn't screaming about the colorization. She was part of the Zombie Jamboree Scream Queens contest, which drew some enthusiastic competitors.
There are the judges, and I wasn't mentioned that. Okay, and your name for the audience?
Hi, I'm Denise.
I'll be taking presentation later. Okay, Denise, what makes you think it was? This is a real stupid question at this point. But Denise, what makes you think you're a scream queen?
I'd love to take every one of these men out here and rip their hearts out.
Before our audience expires.
You can all line up here as soon as we're done here, one at a time.
Oh God, yes, we're gonna have jail time tonight. Okay. Denise, before I use up the last few radios I'm currently using, I'll be giving you some big heartful screams.
Okay, is everybody ready?
That afternoon, the fans of Night of the Living Dead filled the auditorium for a panel discussion with the movie's creators.
Is John Russo? And this is Russ Kleiner. Kyra, my daughter, and she who ate my arm and killed her mother. So Marilyn, Ellen Cooper, Marilyn Eastman, they really got it in the end. And on the end, I'm going to skip to the end. I don't know who this guy is right here, but that's Bill Heinzman, our head ghoul. I think Bill is probably the greatest ghoul, and I mean this seriously, that I have ever seen in any horror film. Bill Heinzman. Of course, then he really looked more like a ghoul than he does now. He looks pretty straight now. And finally, what was your name, sir?
Brian De Palma.
George Romero, everyone. How's that, George? Not bad, huh? It's the stand-up that did it, the warm-up. Right. Jack, I know him as Jack, you know him as John Russo, said that probably what we'll do is just change this format and turn it into a question and answer, better known as a Q&A. Does that strike everyone's fancy? Uh-oh, we're in trouble.
You know what a Q&A is? You ask questions and we'll answer to the best of our ability. If we can't answer, we'll lie.
Yeah, we're going to change it even more. We're going to ask you questions. That's a good idea. We have to pass this mic back and forth. Russ, why don't you start?
We really have to use this? First of all, I'm glad to see that so many people came out. It's really pretty interesting to see how many people are still interested in a piece of work after so many years. And I think clearly the success of Night of the Living Dead is thanks to folks like you. So on behalf of us, thank you for
Yes, here's some applause. Thank you all very much.
Mr. Romero, I have a question about monkey shines. When I saw the film, the older researchers stole the serum from the younger one. The young one said something like, "Oh no, he doesn't know what that can do." Then we never saw the older researchers. Right. Was there footage that was edited or something?
Yes, the ending was changed. The distributor, the people that really make movies today are the teenagers in Orange County who preview a film and get to turn in cards and say what they think should happen to it, and then the studio executives respond to that. And unfortunately, they don't go across the country with it. They generally, with most films, unless it's a really big picture, show it right there in California. And, the kids in Orange County complain about the cars you have in it. Why'd you use a Beamer, And unfortunately, that's what's happened to films today. And that whole ending, which to me makes no sense. That whole theme is developed all the way through the film, and they just cut the ending right off. It was a much better, sort of darker, more cynical ending.
Did something happen to the older researcher? Was there
He's got the stuff in the final scene. There's a beautiful scene with the monkeys where this is injecting the monkeys. It was actually one of the best scenes that the monkeys did.
Second question, will we ever see a video release of There's Always Vanilla?
We hope not, right. I don't know. I don't think so. But who has the rights to that these days?
That's the thing. We can't figure out the ownership of that is so convoluted and
Doesn't look much different up close, though, than it does far back. You think it's essentially purposeless? Well, no, because you got something happening. Anything that has something happening has a purpose to it. I think that they're trying to make fun of us.
Height.
5'9".
Weight.
155.
Eyes. Dirty brown.
Black.
Dirty brown.
Oh, can't you just write down black? What the hell do they care? Eyes.
Single, married, divorced. What do you intend to major in?
Now, that's frightening.
What?
What do you intend to do with the next 50 or 60 years of your life? Hey, I'm sorry, Lynn, but I'm going to have to waste 3 hours of your life.
Chris!
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I got a job. Well, I have an interview for a job, and I don't see any reason why they wouldn't give it to me, because I am magnificent. Come on, let's go to bed.
Chris?
Come on.
Where?
Well, in the bedroom. Where else?
What kind of job? Where?
A very good job.
Are you serious?
Pierce, Burns, and Manspeaker.
You have an interview?
With Mr. Manspeaker himself.
Chris, that's one of the biggest agencies. Oh.
And now they're going to have a copywriter who can write good. Well, good.
Chris, you just can't walk into a place like that and expect to get a job because you think you can do it better than anyone else. You can't do it. You need experience. Be sensible.
Hey, Lynn, wait a minute. What the hell is this? Now, I don't want to go to school for 4 years. Now, you tell me what the hell is sensible. My guitar? Is that sensible? Look, I got a good shot at this job, and I can do it.
I'm surprised they'd even let you in the door.
I used your father's name as a reference.
Don't you care about anything?
Oh, Jesus Christ, what the hell is bugging you?
I think the film was really benefited from the fact that Dwayne played that role. I think it was one of the reasons that the film looked, it made it look angrier. It made it, it gave it part of that nitty-gritty feel. It made it seem part of the current politics at the time. And, it wasn't really, I mean, we talked long and hard about who should play that role. And when we decided that Dwayne would play it, I always say if there's any credit that we can take, it's that we didn't change the script because he was black. And so maybe that, we didn't make reference to it or make fun of him or do anything like that. We did talk about that scene with Judy. We were worried about it. Dwayne was worried about it when we were shooting it. But we did it, and nobody, it never became a problem at all. It wound up in the end being a tremendous advantage to the film and to, and Dwayne did a great job. So I mean.
And incidentally, the script was written. Dwayne's part was written as a truck driver, speaking very poor English. And when Dwayne saw the script the way it was written, he refused to do it that way because he was afraid that it would cast a reflection on blacks.
It was also, the truth of the matter is, Dwayne grew up in a community not too far from here, Duquesne, Pennsylvania, and at the time he was living in New York, but he auditioned for the role, and he simply was the best actor who auditioned for the part.
We ought to be all right here for a while. We have the gun and bullets, food and the radio. Sooner or later, someone's bound to come and get us out.
So again, we join with law enforcement agencies, urging you to seek shelter in a building. Lock the doors and windows securely.
Hey, that's us. We're doing all right.
Cautious of any suspicious strangers. And keep tuned to your radio and television for survival instruction and further details of this continuing story.
Look, I don't know if you're hearing me. I'm going upstairs now. If anything should try to break in here, I can hear it from up there. I'll be down to take care of it. Everything is all right for now. I'll be back to reinforce the windows and doors later. But you'll be all right for now, okay? Okay.
On Friday night, fans were shuttled from the Expo Mart to downtown Pittsburgh for a riverboat cruise with the Zombie Jamboree featured guests. The cruise offered everybody a first-hand look at the beauty of the city and its many outstanding features which caused us to want to make our movies here, and which have in recent years brought many Hollywood companies to Pittsburgh to film movies like Innocent Blood and Silence of the Lambs. Come Saturday morning, just about everyone was up bright and early for day number 2 of the Zombie Jamboree.
The Living Dead, the greatest movie in the world. I don't know, I've always been really into horror movies, and Night of the Living Dead is just because I was like 5 years old at the time, and my dad had shown me nothing but like space aliens and monsters and all the rest of this mess. Like everybody else, it was something new. It was like zombies, and ever since I've been like major zombie freak. I love zombie movies. Everything about zombies I love.
It's Halloween. Even the dead will scream. Pretty cool, huh?
This is wonderful. I had no idea so many people cared.
No idea?
From Fangoria I did, but this is even more so. I'm just amazed and very grateful.
But the film is everywhere, right?
It is everywhere.
Surely you know that thousands of people are seeing you. I know.
But it's hard to believe that thousands of people would care about being scared to death.
Just like my name on here?
Yeah. Do you have that in extra large, or is it just large?
I think just large on this.
Grand.
t-shirts to Star Wars and Star Trek items.
On Saturday afternoon, a panel discussion was hosted by Bill Chilly Billy Cardill. He got his nickname by hosting a late-night TV horror show called Chiller Theater back in the days when we were making Night of the Living Dead. He came out to our location to shoot newsreel footage, and we enlisted him for a cameo role.
Okay, Chief, if I were surrounded by 6 or 8 of these things, would I stand a chance with them?
Well, there's no problem. If you had a gun, shoot him in the head. That's a sure way to kill him. If you don't, get yourself a club or a torch. Beat him or burn him. They go up pretty easy.
Well, Chief McClellan, how long do you think it will take you until you get the situation under control?
Well, that's pretty hard to say. We don't know how many of them there are. We know when we find them, we can kill them.
Are they slow-moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
George made Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead stars my daughter Lori, and she won. George brought the trophies back, equivalent to Academy Award, the best actress in Spain and the best actress in France for Day of the Dead. She's the only female in it.
By now, the living, the dead, and even the undead all seemed to know about Zombie Jamboree 93, and some of the undead were starting to arrive in order to take part in the zombie contest. The judges were faced with some agonizing decisions because all of the makeups were very good. But somehow we arrived at a decision, and the bloody zombie was the winner. We thanked all of the undead for entering and told them that if they were angry, not to take it out on us, but on Adam West, who was in the theater next door giving a talk.
We had not the goriest fright film of all time, but we did have an exceptional television program that was fraught with, or we had so many experiences that were colorful, bizarre, strange, provocative, whatever, while filming Batman. And during that whole social phenomenon that I thought you might enjoy today, asking some questions about it. I'm going to reveal to you this evening for the first time the secrets of the Batcave.
At 10 o'clock that night, it was time to go and see Night of the Living Dead at the Cinema World Theater. It was just a stone's throw from the Expo Mart, but we had the featured guests driven there by limousine in a sort of reenactment of the original world premiere of 25 years ago.
It looks like Darth Vader and
This was the first time in over 2 decades that I had seen our movie on a big screen in a real theater. If you want my honest reaction, I was impressed by the pace and the power that it still has. I want to thank all the fans who have made Night of the Living Dead a lasting success, and those of you who came to Zombie Jamboree '93.
We flew all the way out here from Denver, Colorado. We heard about it back in October of '92, and we found out most of the information we could in February, started saving, and we sent away for our gold passes and got our tickets and stuff.
Is it worth it?
Definitely, definitely, so far, yes.
Like it?
Every penny so far, yeah.
All right. When did you first see Night of the Living Dead?
I first saw it about 5 years ago, probably. It really scared me. Well, it was a pretty freaky movie, definitely.